caution flag period, man, that could be a problem.
This is the foot cam for Rusty Wallace, and we'll see how he uses the brakes, when he uses the brakes. He's a left foot braker, huh?
And there we see Rusty Wallace down the straightaway, on the brakes hard. Now he trail brakes a little bit into the corner. Now off the brakes, takes that foot off the brake and moves it over to the, it looks like he's resting it on the clutch pedal. But be sure and take that foot off the brake pedal. Look at that rotor and how hot it stays all the way around the racetrack. Down the straightaway, we see it does cool off a little bit. It's essential that to get the air from the nose of these cars in to cool off those rotors.
Wow, you can almost see the flame coming from that thing.
They get very, very hot.
And we see just how hot it is. The one reason we can't see right around here is part of the duct system that they keep forces the air on the brake rotor. That's why we can't see the rotor all the way around. Now we see us down the straightaway because the rotor is cool. Now watch as it heats up as he applies the brake and sparks flying off that carbon metallic brake pad. And there we see Rusty as he closes up behind. Looks like Lake Speed. No, that's Bobby Hillen. We talk about brakes, folks. It is the most essential part of the car here at Martinsville. And Mark, we've got a camera back at the rear. This is the gear. We talk about Jerry Punch talked about a 620. That's the gear. This little piece here is an oil cooler pump. Pumps the oil from the gear up into a radiator in the back of the car. This is a reservoir for the engine oil. The oil is pumped from the engine all the way back to this reservoir. Here's this piece is the drive shaft, hooks the transmission to the gear. Now as we pan this camera across, there you see the brake. This is the brake duct going back to the rear of the car that hangs off the rear trailing arm. This is the trailing arm that goes back and hooks up by the transmission. Right rear spring, and we'll see when Martin goes in the corner how this spring, he's on the straightaway now, and watch he goes in the corner how this spring compresses as it goes up. And back here is the brake assembly on the right rear of the car. Right up here, folks, you see this little black thing? That's nothing but a chain. It's like a cow chain that you would use to tie a cow up. What that does is when they jack the car up on the pit stop, this chain pulls that right rear tire off the ground. Otherwise, they'd have to depend on the shot being fully extended to pull that tire off the ground. It would take 2 or 3 more pumps on the jack, so they use the chain to jerk that right rear off the ground. Now here we see the right front of Michael Waltrip's car. I talked about camera just a moment ago. As he goes down the straightaway, you see here's and if you draw a straight line, look at the difference between the bottom of the tire and the top of the tire. That is what we're talking about by camber. Now the tire is perfectly straight and it goes from the corner. Watch how this tire just disappears. Watch as it disappear behind the sheet metal. That is sidewall deflection.
Second place car, next car back.
The camera will pan the camera around and look from the back of Michael Waltrip's car as he comes off the corner and up against the wall.
On the inside.
This is the first time we've been able to use this camera. NASCAR worked with our folks at BST and said, okay, guys, put the camera there as long as it's not going to solve a problem for someone else.
Kyle Petty all over Rusty Wallace for 4th position. Good job, BP. You're great with those circles. I tell you.
An artist I'm not, folks.
While you were doing that, Michael went a lap down in the sit-go Ford number 21. He is running in the 22nd position. And here's Kyle Petty all over Rusty Wallace.
He sure is. Now he's down to the inside. Little contact there, maybe.
Wallace is 4th. Kyle Petty is 5th. Remember, Wallace fighting a loose condition on his Ford.
And I believe Kyle is going to get him this time. He's got his car to the inside of Rusty now. They race down the backstretch into turn number 3, still side by side. But they come out of the corner, and at least at the line, they're almost dead even.
Kyle Petty will have the spot as they come off second corner. Now watch this, folks. You ever see Kyle Petty's got the spot? Check this out. Going down in turn 1. There's the leader. He's lapping Robert Preston. And look who's right in front of Bobby Hamilton. And look who's right behind him.
Yeah, Jim Gordon has caught him. Remember, it was 2.5 seconds, 2.6 seconds a while ago. Now he is right with him.
Dale Earnhardt about to go a lap down here in the 18th position. Boy, Hamilton just making a shambles of the field here in this first green period. Not yet 100 laps old. And indeed, Hamilton puts a lap on Dale Earnhardt. Gordon is second, then Shepard, Petty, and Wallace. 91 of 500 laps completed at Martinsville.